Greetings, my name is Stephen Willis. I'm a doctoral student at Spalding University. My presentation brief today will be over servant leadership theory. My presentation time will be between 7 to 10 minutes. My writing style is APA 7 format, and that's where applicable. So let's get into it, shall we? Background of servant leadership theory. Servant leadership theory started by Robert Greenleaf in the 1977 article, Essentials of Servant Leadership. Schnook mentions Greenleaf, an AT&T executive that proposed a leadership style in which leaders put needs, aspirations, and interests of their followers above their own. So, followers before leaders. The significance of servant leadership theory, a leadership style that turns traditional leadership upside down. Leaders serving employees a bottom-up approach versus employees serving the leader, top-down approach. As you can see on this graphic, that the CEO in traditional leadership is on top and the employees are on bottom. Well, servant leadership turns this upside down and the CEOs and senior leaders are on bottom and the employee is on top. So that's very interesting, and we'll learn more about this in future slides. So now is the literature review. So I went over 5 articles. I covered a mix of peer-reviewed research articles and general information articles. Nell said that servant leadership was genuinely positive and had a positive overall impact and utilized by a lot of Fortune 500 companies. Servant leadership is widely accepted around the world, and it isn't going away anytime soon. So that's a good thing. Research article covered is a great example how to get down to the lowest common denominator and come up with a research question for the capstone. And then finally, the pros of the servant leadership far outweigh the cons. If you're taking a look at change management and looking to change leadership in your organization and move towards a bottom-up approach leadership style. So the Key Scholar biography. So that's a picture of Robert Greenleaf. He was born in 1904 in Terre Haute, Indiana. He graduated with a math major in 1926. He had a 38-year career at AT&T, and he retired in 1964. After that, he began his second career as a writer, consultant, and teacher. So Greenleaf inspirational essay, The Servant as a Leader, was published in 1970. And then in 1976, he published Servant Leadership, and that book was a bunch of combined essays. So Greenleaf died in 1990, and they buried him back in Terre Haute, Indiana. And that was on Greenleaf's biography article. Okay. So 10 key terms associated with servant leadership theory. So one is listening, but active listening. Empathy. Number 2, understanding and putting yourself in the place of others, putting yourself in their shoes. 3 is helping emotional wounds. There's things that stress that go on at work, and then outside of work, there's things that can happen like deaths in the family, and you have to put family before business. So that's one of the key things with servant leadership. And also moving on to 4, you have to have awareness. So general and also self-awareness. So I just wanted to briefly highlight that, values and ethics, them are some of the things you got to be aware of as a good servant leader. So also persuasion, convincing others. So if I can't convince myself of something, how do I expect to convince you? So I have to sell myself to myself before I can sell it to you, right? So also conceptualizing, so getting the big picture, seeing not just what's in front of you, but the overall big picture. And foresight, that's learning from mistakes in the past, and then learning in the present that there's going to be future impacts. So what we do today will affect what happens tomorrow. So also stewardship for the greater good of society. So it's not only good for the company, but also for society. So to have both interests at heart is a core value for servant leadership. So committed to people growth and growing future leaders and making sure they got promotions and raises and all that good stuff that comes with the growth of people. So, learning and training and all that kind of stuff. And also finally 10, building community internally and externally. It's great to have both. So that was in Schnook article. So evaluation, development of servant leadership theory. So servant leadership theory went from a small idea in 1977, this is Schnook, and went to a common leadership practice across the world. So it's worldwide. And then Nell said about 3 or 4 years ago, created an article, Why Servant Leadership is More Needed Than Ever. Is more important than ever and needed more than ever as well. So the strength of servant leadership theory is high team morale, collaborative decision-making, employee engagement, and strong ethical behavior. That's by Lindbergh. Some challenges and limitations of leadership theory is one of the biggest challenges that I found is not the fundamental process of leadership theory, but the name itself, servant. So servant, that's pointed out by Marina and Fontanu. They mention how people of color and women may associate the word servant with negative language in the past. So I see that as a challenge for servant leadership. And the limitations that I see was that there's time to build servant leadership. You just can't turnkey and have something that could work overnight. Also, it doesn't work for certain organizations. The example of this would be military, and there's many others, but military is one key one. Also, the team can lose sight of goals. And then I highlighted in red because it seemed like the biggest negative in there is it's the opposite of motivation, opposite style of motivation. So there's no goal-oriented, production-oriented, rewards. That's not that type of leadership style. So there's that one big negative. And then finally, egos are out the window versus traditional leadership. The traditional leadership, the CEOs and upper management have the power and authority. And that was all by Lindbergh in Lindbergh's article. So that's the end of my presentation. And I wanted to end with something I saw on Spalding University's mission website. And that's kindness, service, and justice, a commitment to fixing what is broken. And that was on the Spalding website. So I just wanted to leave you guys with that. Thank you so much and have a blessed rest of your day.